welcome everybody. Thanks for all being on time. I'm Monica Weekly, hosting this call today. Hello, Espresso Nation. We are lucky enough to have Aaron Wittenstein. You guys are all probably pretty familiar with him and his live shenanigans on scripts and objections. So I know people know who you are. But let me start with just a few little housekeeping items. We, as always, put everybody on mute, and that's for your listening pleasure, so that you don't have a lot of background noise. So that's why we do that. But I will be monitoring the chat button. Try to stay away from the Q&A if you can, just so I can have everything in one spot. Go to chat. I'll try to stay on top of it as Aaron and I are chatting. And if not, we'll kind of circle back around at the end and get to the questions. As always, Espresso always records these calls, so this will be available out on Espresso's YouTube channel. So if you want to go back and listen to any of the tidbits, I always think, you know, these calls are so great. And tell me, Aaron, if you do the same thing when I'm participating in something like this or listening in something like this. I think there's going to be 2 or 3 nuggets that I'm going to take away and practice. I mean, you're not going to do all of it. Not all of it's going to apply to you, but you're looking for those 1 or 2 things that can change your business, right?
Yeah, it's just getting, if you could get one thing out of there, you know, some of the things you'll spend the most money going to some of these trainings to get one thing. Because if you could take one thing, implement in their business, it could be exponential. So, you know, just being an active listener and just, I'll give you one thing. I'll give you everything. Everybody's going to get one thing, I promise.
That's right. That's right. And if that one thing gives you one deal in your world, I'm quite sure it's worth the next hour. So thank you guys for being here. And thanks to Espresso Agent for constantly putting people in front of you guys to help you grow your business. They're so cognizant of that and wanting to make sure that you have just all the information that can help you, not just the tools they put on your desktop every day, but everything else. So we have a couple more of these coming up. Christine Papworth, she's the real estate doctor is what she goes by. She's coming up in a couple weeks, and then we are going to be really lucky to have Mitzi Jasnicki, who I don't know if you guys know Mitzi, but she is an amazing coach, real estate coach. She's grown businesses. She ran Chris Heller's team for several years when he first took over the role at KW. So there's a lot of good information there as well. So, but today, my friend Aaron
What's up?
Westchester County, New York, which is just north of New York City, right?
Yes, we're like 20 minutes away without traffic from New York City.
Perfect. Will you put in the chat bar right now a phone number and an email where people can send you referrals for Westchester County? Okay, so Aaron is a pretty well-known guy, mainly because he runs a 35,000 member plus Facebook page called Lead Gen Scripts and Objections. His wife knows him mainly for his real estate business. That's what she wants to continue. So.
Oh no, she knows me a lot more for my real estate business.
Right, I'm sure. So last year, Aaron did about 380,000 in GCI. He's definitely known for his expireds, scripts and objection handlers. You're on live. What's your schedule? How often are you live on Facebook?
Kind of whenever I feel like it. So, you know, I don't want to, when I first started, I was going every day and it became a bit of a distraction. So, you know, I really did it. Like when I started doing the live stuff, people are like, how'd you come up with it? Because now everybody's doing it. I said, I was having a really bad day, like a really bad day.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, if 3 people start watching me do this, I can't be bad. So I started doing, next thing you know, like the first day we had 2,000 people watching it. And it just became crazy. Yet then it became a distraction. So now I get back to it. I like to make sure that when I'm doing it, I'm highly focused. Honestly, I do it the days that I don't feel like doing lead gen.
Perfect. So it's part of an accountability.
It really is. It really is, because I've got to do what I've got to do. And when I've got people watching me, I have to do it, and I have to do it at a high level. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. And guys on the call, what could you do something similar? Maybe it's that. Maybe it's something similar to make sure those accountability moments are built into your day. I love that you've done it. And you know what? You've helped so many people with those calls, because there's nothing that replaces seeing somebody do it live and in person, right?
Yeah, it's so weird. I mean, there's no intention. You know, there was never an intention to help anybody. It's one of those things when, I do it I did it for myself, but then you wind up helping people. You get these messages of thank you. Chandler's like, "Whoa, this is crazy." But I love doing it. I love, now, how can I put it, is I do it now to help people. Before I did it to help myself. Now I really do it to help people, and I love it.
That's awesome. And you're usually on at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard.
Yeah, I start at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm done by 9. I do it for about an hour, maybe 2 to 3 times a week.
Perfect. So, and we'll get to this a little bit later, but there are some other ways you're helping people through some systems that you've put together that you offer through online training and whatnot, right?
Yes, I teach parenting courses 101 when you have twins, because I have a 5-year-old and 2-year-old twins. No, I teach sanity and how to properly use your hair in real estate. No, what I actually do is I have a program that I run. If anybody wants to check it out, it's called expiredmastery101.com, where I did 4 live months. Now it's a recorded version where we have, you get all 4 months, you get all my scripts, videos, all this other cool stuff, 150-point marketing plan, everything. I think I'm charging like $275 for everything. The content never dies. So that's something cool, expiredmastery101.com. I'm starting to do a lot more speaking engagements. I will be out your way, Monica.
Sweet.
You didn't know that?
Cincinnati?
You didn't know?
No.
I'm going to be out there May 18th.
All right.
Yes.
I gotta write that down. Hold on.
Yeah, I will be there May 18th. So I started doing a lot of more speaking engagements. That's really what I enjoy. I do, kind of when I have time, what I like to call the Project Big Why, which means people basically get a slot at this time during this day where, they get on the phone with me and I help them figure out their big why. Typically, I can usually assist someone to figure it out within 30 minutes, or at least guide them in the right path within 30 minutes, because I'm a big proponent of knowing why you do what you do. Mm-hmm. And until you know why you do what you do, you will never be able to obtain the greatness that you have the ability to become.
Sure. Can I ask you what your big why is?
Oh man, you just made me start crying now.
No.
All right. No. All right. So I'm not telling the whole story behind it.
Okay. Fair.
So, I can, if everybody.
No, just give us
the big why, my big why, and I have a whole story that I usually tell behind it, is that my father passed away when I was 3 years old. And when we were 18, I was with a single parent, we were ready to get evicted from our apartment. So I never want my children to feel the pain that I went through, and I'm never willing to sacrifice the time with them to do it. So that's my big why.
That is a big why right there.
That's my big why.
That's neat. I see why you get up and lead gen every day.
I don't do it for myself. And what I will tell you guys is that once you figure out what that is, it'll get you through anything. It'll get you through any struggle. It'll get you through any heartache. It'll get you through anything that you don't want to do, because you're doing it for something greater than yourself. And if you're just doing it for yourself, you have the ability to fail, because you can't do things for yourself. You've got to find other people, in my opinion, whether it's, your children. Put it this way, if you have children and you don't have a big why, you're selfish. That's just my personal opinion. Because we'll talk to one guy who said he has 4 children. I don't know what his big why is. I almost hung up the phone on him. Your wife, your spouse, your husband, your grandparents, yourself 10 years from now. Because that's one thing people that are single, they don't understand, why, it's just themselves. Is I'm 35 years old. If I went back 10 years from now, 10 years ago, I would kick my own ass for the lack of work that I did, because I'm in a position right now where I need to be up every day at 5 o'clock in the morning, where I need to be on the phones every day at 8 o'clock, because I did not set myself up for success like I should have 10 years ago. So, it's figuring out what that is. And what I've really realized is a big why always ties back. To have a proper big why, which in my opinion, it ties back to someone else, and it's something that ties back to your past and your childhood.
I love that. That's great. So I didn't realize you were doing that help. So how do people engage in that with you?
Well, what I do is, I've been so busy here, growing the team and stuff, and especially I've had lots of stuff going on with the family. So what I'll do on the lead gen scripts and objections group, what I'll do is I'll post Project Big Why time available. And pretty much it's like a first come, first serve basis. If I have an extra half an hour in the day, I'll post it in there. I really need to be in the right mindset to be able to do that, because it's a very, very powerful phone call. It takes a lot out of me. But I've found I've yet to, anybody that's been through it, I have not failed to help anybody yet.
That's awesome. All right. That's cool. I love that. So knowing that you have been dialing expireds for most of the last 4 years, okay. I'm guessing that your market is similar to others' markets and people on this call, and that is that the expireds are fewer and far between, right? Is that happening in your world?
Oh yeah, I mean, my market here is a relatively small market. We don't have a lot, so right now we're getting 0 to 5 expireds a day with it. So, but how can I put it? Yet, the thing is with that is, so, I'm still calling those every day. I'm here, the first person here in the office, because you got to be the first one calling. You've got to be the first one. And if you guys are going to do anything, you're going to do it right. Because what happens is if you're the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 15th caller, especially in this market right now, you're done before you even start.
Right.
People are inundated. So I'm always the first one to call.
Got it. But knowing that you only have up to 5 every day and your goals haven't changed, how did you shift, and what are you doing from a lead gen standpoint?
Well, we're supplementing. So, right now, the first thing that I do when I come in is I call the brand new expireds and I do my seller tests. I'm doing a lot more work right now with for sale by owners. It's a very, very strong for sale by owner market. There's a lot of people out there. And the reason that I started working for sale by owners is I had Priscilla, my ops manager over here. I said, pull up all the for sale by owners for the last year, scrub the list and tell me what happened. There was like 50% of them listed. And it was the biggest kick in the you-know-what in the entire world. When I'm sitting here, they listed and like 90% of the 50% sold. And I'm like,
because you had been ignoring that segment.
I didn't even touch them. I mean, I'm like, this is just, because like I said, with expires, I know expires inside and out. We consider it expired mastery 101. You'll learn everything. I could teach that like you would not believe. For whatever reason, I had this limiting belief on for sale by owners that there's no money in for sale by owners. For sale by owners are a pain in the neck. They're all about money, blah, 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 all the, the stupid stuff going on in your head when there's so much money to be made there. They're raising their hand.
Right.
And I always looked at that as being the second tier on the list. You have expireds because they've raised their hand and said, I want to sell, I want to list, and I want to list with an agent. Then you have for sale by owner on the other hand, raising their hand saying, I want to sell, I just don't want to use an agent. Yet reality sinks in and they use agents and that agent isn't me and I don't like to lose. So in turn, all I can think of is that I'm an idiot. So.
So when you decided to go down that path, did you have to ramp up on your scripts?
You know what? I didn't really have one.
Okay.
So, I write all my own scripts. So I make all my own scripts by trial and error. What'll happen is I keep in mind, I've been in call centers since I was 16 years old. So almost 20 years now, I've been making some form of cold call. Okay. So what I wind up finding out is that when I just talk, cool stuff happens. So I started calling for sale by owners. And I really started just tweaking my script around, and it's working pretty well. What you got to realize is not like expires. Expires, you're going in, you're going in for the kill.
Right.
For sale by owners, that is where patience happens, and that is where contribution-based marketing happens, and not seeming like you're just the guy that wants to come in because the first day that home comes up for sale by owner, they don't realize. The sellers don't realize that 95% of those are going to be other agents. And I've heard some of the way other agents speak to these people. It's disrespectful and rude, which means you need to separate yourself from those people, give them something they're not used to, bring down their wall, if you will, their guard, and give them something of massive value where they don't just think you're any other jerk real estate listing agent telling them you're an idiot for going for sale by owner.
So great point. What are you offering them in the way of value?
3 barber advice. No. So
if only you were video calling, that would be fun.
I know. I'm gonna come do your hair for you. No, what I do is here. You want to role play real quick? Now keep in mind, guys, this is like a work in progress. All right. So my perfect world is I like to call for sale by owners that have been listed for 2 weeks or later. Okay. Because within the first 2 weeks, they don't want to talk to you. All right. They're like, I'm going to sell it. I'm going to stick it to the man, and I'm not paying a commission. And, so they're like so high. They're like, this is the greatest thing in the world. I don't need anybody. I can do it within that first week. They're like, I'm going to do an open house because every house sells with an open house, and I don't need you guys. Right. Then they do an open house, and they have that, they get a couple people that come through. They get a bunch of agents, and they get that one person that's like, we like it. And everybody who likes the house is going to buy it, right?
Right.
So then you have that week where you call them up and you're like, yeah, how they go? Oh, great. We had one person that really, really liked the house. And you call them a week later. So how'd that person go? Well, they haven't called us back yet, but they really like it. So we're waiting on them. So they just keep getting like beaten down by just the sheer process of it. Mm-hmm. That in my opinion, by the third week, they're in a much different mindset on what's going on. So what I'll do is I'll call and be like, hi, I'm looking for the owner of 123 Smith Street.
This is her.
Oh, hi, this is Aaron. Aaron, I'm a local realtor. I don't know if you recall, but we spoke when you first put the property up for sale by owner. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, here's the deal. I never called them, but they have no idea that I never called them.
Okay.
Because so many people have called them. All right. Yet the thing is they're thinking in their mind, wait a second, who is this guy? And the answer I get, oh yeah, how are you? That's the main answer that I get. It's a little sneaky, but it's okay. Right. If you don't feel comfortable, call them the first day and then ask if they remember. So yeah, I don't know if you remember me, but we spoke when you first put the property up for sale by owner. I just want to assure you I'm not calling to list your property. I'm just curious, how's everything going?
It's good. We've had some people through and have some people interested, and sure. It's going great.
Sure. Okay. So, have you had any offers in on the property?
No offers in writing, but we do have some people that are really interested.
Gotcha. So they're pre-approved buyers that you've seen the pre-approval letter. They're interested in the property then, right?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay. Just do yourself a favor. If you do get an offer on something, make sure they have a pre-approval letter. Because one of the things that's the biggest struggle that happens that I hate to see is so many for sale by owners deals fall apart because it's not that you don't know what you're doing. It's that you don't know how to vet the buyers properly. Okay. So, are you living in the property right now or is it vacant?
We're living here.
You live in, gotcha. So did you have a time frame you were thinking about getting out of the house by?
No, we haven't bought anything yet, so we just thought we'd kind of see what the market would do.
Sure. Now, a perfect world, when would you like to be out of the house
by? Perfect world, sometime this summer.
Sometime this summer. Now, here's where the conversation is really, you tweak it towards motivation, okay? Which is this part I don't have scripted out. There's no script that I have for this. I tweak it towards motivation based on price and see if they're priced well, depending on what location they're in. So then I'll just kind of go, okay, so you want to be out of that. Now, do you want to be moved by the end of summer or do you want to be out of the house by the end of summer?
We would like to be completely moved into a new house by the end of the summer.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. So you haven't purchased anything though, right?
No, but we're going to be going to Europe for a month. So we'd like to be in our new house and finish.
Oh, when are you leaving?
We're leaving August 1st.
Oh, you're leaving August 1st. Gotcha. Okay. So, let me ask you this, be honest. What's the main reason that you decided to go for sale by owner as opposed to having someone help you out?
Well, we're just pretty astute and we know that the market is hot and I think we can get it done by ourselves without having to pay out the commission.
Sure. So it's about the money, right?
Sure.
Okay, sure. It's always about the money. So it's always about the money. I don't care what they say. So I'll say something like, so you don't hate real estate agents. It's just about the money, right?
Right.
Okay, fair enough. So at what point, if you haven't sold the property on your own, would you entertain the thought of having someone help you out?
I'm not sure. I'm hoping we don't have to do that.
Okay, sure. So, you're looking to give it a shot on your own for like another, week or so, see how it goes, kind of go from there, right?
Yeah, I just don't think we'll end up listing with a realtor. Maybe. Sure. I just don't know.
Sure. I got you guys. Motivation here? None. Got it? So the thing is that if I push to go for this appointment right now, I can push with the best of them. All right. But the thing is I'm going to push them away. So the goal is to get an opportunity to call them back. Gotcha. Okay. No, I totally understand. You want to give it a shot on your own. I know, this isn't an easy process. What questions you have about the process that I can answer for
you? I don't think any, although I did, somebody told me not to let anybody buy the house with an FHA loan.
Okay, gotcha. Are you familiar with what an FHA loan is?
No.
Okay, basically what an FHA loan is, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Okay, so I'm like, so does that kind of answer your question and settle your fears about an FHA loan?
Yeah, so I shouldn't really be worried about it.
Nah, I mean, they're good products. It's a question on being able to vet the buyer. We're vetting the approval. Let's say you do get an offer or something, feel free to give me a call. I don't mind helping you out. Okay. So have you done any open houses?
No, we don't really want.
You're not planning to do any open houses?
No.
Gotcha. Here's what I like to do. I mean, I'd like to stay in touch with you, kind of keep, to see how everything's going. Is it all right if I catch back up with you maybe in a week or so to see how everything's going?
Sure.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I'll give you a shout. What I'd like to do is I'd like to shoot you out some information in the mail. This is your home address. What's the best email address for you?
Blah, blah, blah.
And then what is your cell phone? Blah, 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 blah. And so like that one, because the motivation isn't there, I could push. I mean, dependent on the person, I will push. This is one of these where I sit back and then I follow up and follow up and follow up every week. Every single week. I call you back in a week. Monica, hey, it's Aaron Wittenstein over Keller Williams Real Estate. How are you?
Great.
Good. Just want to catch up, see everything's coming along with the property.
Okay, I see.
And
so
then,
you're not going to risk losing it because you didn't follow up. That's probably where most people lose that opportunity, right?
Because what I want to do is I want to bring value on every phone call. See how close they're listening, listen to their frustration level. And by the time they're just like, I'm done, they're going to remember me. And then they remember the guy that gave. I stay on top of them. I mean, I've lost a couple because they list with friends and family members. And I mean, that's one of those things when you have a for sale by owner, it's so hard to overcome that, especially if they have a friend, family member. And I could do objections for days on it. The reality of it is they think they know better than everybody else until they list with that friend or family member. The home expires. Then guess what? Who's calling them? Me. So it's just building with value and bringing value and massive value to these people where now I'm calling people like, oh, Aaron, how are you? I'm referring them to different sites. I'm giving them like other documents, stuff like that. Now I'm going to put my buyer specialist in on it where he's going to go visit these people. And, we got a whole other system that we're working with that as well.
So that was one of the questions is, would you have jumped on the opportunity on the buying side on that phone call, or do you wait? Are you waiting right now?
What I will do, and this is just something I got to get in the habit with because, now that I have a buyer specialist in place, what I'd say is, do you have anybody who's helping you purchase? Do you have the ability to purchase, without that? And then I'd refer Mike over to him and say, hey, let my guy give you a call. Let me see if we can help you out on that. And so that's a good point. I need to really think about that. So.
That's because you're just not in the mode of, in the past, you haven't been doing buyers.
I haven't worked with a buyer in 4 years. So, so now it's just getting reintroduced into the habit of doing that, which is a great point. Thank you, whoever asked that question, because now I'm going to be completely cognizant of doing that. So thank you.
Perfect. Okay, good. I love that you really, I guess, discern the fact that there was a motivation and you are teaching us to back off at that point, because I think so many of us are just so focused on getting the appointment that we're sort of oblivious to what actually damage we can be doing to the relationship at that moment. So I think that's super smart. I heard you this morning push a little bit on an expired listing with a lady that her townhouse was super high end or something. Yeah. You tried to get off the phone, but I guess because they're an expired and you're just
expired is different than a for sale by owner. An expired, they want to sell. So like, for example, if I get an expired that gives me the commission argument, for example, okay, and this is one of these things, Expired Mastery 101, I teach this stuff, is like, for example, my commission handler is sick. Like, you can't touch my commission handler. All right. So Monica, let me get this straight. So, the biggest thing that you're concerned about is commission, right?
Right.
Okay. So let me ask you this. If I could justify the 5% commission over the phone right now, would you entertain the thought of at least sitting down and having a conversation with me?
Sure.
Okay. Got it. So here's the thing. Are you offering out a commission to whomever brings in a buyer?
Yes.
Okay. Got it. So what are you offering out? 2%, 2.5%?
Well, I think it's supposed to be 3, right?
Yeah, I mean, whatever. The 3 is good. My market tends to lend towards 5%. So, so 2.5%. You're offering out 2.5% right there. And here's the thing: is any buyers who come in, they're fully aware that you're not paying a commission, so they want a piece of it. So let's say, for example, I bring my buyer specialist, Mike. He makes an offer on your property. What's going to happen is right off the bat, we're removing 2.5% from that. So now all I have to do is justify 2.5%. Now you're marketing your home, right?
Right.
You're spending at least 0.5% to market your home, right?
No, we're not spending too much.
Okay, based on the numbers, you should be spending a minimum of 0.5% in regards to marketing, which now means all I need to justify is 2%. Let me ask you this. I mean, here's the reality of it, is I'm not belittling you by any means. Don't take this the wrong way. Yet, what my team, I negotiate professionally for a living. This is what I do. I guarantee, I will write it on paper, that I can get you 1% more than you can get for your home. Now, people always ask me, how can you
guarantee that?
How do you get? You can't, but they're never going to question it, so it really doesn't matter in the first place, because I know I'm that good and I'll get you more money. So now it just comes down to justifying 1%. Monica, do you have a job, full-time job?
I do.
Do you want a second one?
No.
Okay, being a real estate agent is a second job. Now let me ask you this: are you comfortable having strangers walk through your home that are not vetted?
Well, won't they be with agents?
No, I mean, you got people coming in off of Craigslist ads you posted up. You don't know who these creepos are coming through your house. I mean, do you feel comfortable having people walk through your home while you're there or your family's there that are completely unvetted people?
Not really, I guess.
All right. So at that point, what we're talking about is 1% for your sanity, your time, and your safety.
Okay, fine.
Got it. So that one usually shuts people down.
Yeah, that's great.
But if they don't, they're just stupid and they don't want to hear it, because that is reality. And the reality, the next part I'll say, you know what, I'll start with this and be like, here's the thing, is that commission doesn't matter as long as you get how much you want, right?
Right.
Because the thing is, let's say hypothetically speaking, you want $1 for your house. You want $1 for your house. And I charge you $1 million. And I find some idiot out there that's willing to pay $1 million, $1 for your house.
Do you really?
Does it really make a difference? No. At the end of the day, if I can get you how much you want, I get my fee, you get exactly how much you want. Let's say I get more and I give you a little bit back. You know, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. So when I say the $1 versus the 1 million, you bring it from just stupidity to stupidity, because, you know, it's just such broad spectrums that both of those work so well on commission handlers.
Right. That's great. I love that. I didn't know your market was 5% market.
Yeah, I got to tell you, here, because we're in a very high-end market here, so it's a struggle to get it. I do on some, you know, there's a certain price point that I take 6 and I, you know, keep 3.5 or 4. But when you start getting these multi-million-dollar properties, I mean, the going rate for some of those are 4%. And you're talking $2-3 million properties. So.
Okay, awesome. So you brought on a buyer's agent. His name's Mike. Is that right?
Mike. Yeah, Mike. You want to say hi to everybody?
Yeah.
Mike's going to come say hi.
Hey, Mike,
don't get up too close here.
I know, right?
No, he's way too close.
What's going on, everybody? Excited to be part of Aaron's team. Hopefully, help him dominate this market we're in.
Hopefully it's not an option.
Well, no,
hopefully it's not an option. You are helping us dominate it.
Yeah.
So we just brought on Mike. He's been on for a couple days now, and we are bombing him with information. So.
Oh, I can imagine. What is your system to get him up and running in your world?
My system is Priscilla.
Great.
Priscilla is my system to get him up and running. She tells me what to do, but the thing is that what I will say is we're growing. You know, we're going through growing pains. So as I told Mike, is that, you know, just roll with us here, because this is the first major hire that we've had. You know, this is the second hire that I've had. You know, for Priscilla was the first, where I have somebody who's training Priscilla for me, and we've got Mike here who I can't teach. I'm not good at training people. I talk too fast and I think everybody knows everything. So she's teaching him on all of the, the systems and all that. And we're just going to be doing regular role play, and he's going to be watching me and learning and doing that. So.
Perfect. Why did you decide right now to bring on a buyer's agent? What changed in your business?
Well, the first thing is, is follow the model, which the first thing I wanted to do, which I didn't have, was have the right person in place to help run the business. Because, like I tell people on my listing consultations, that's right, listing consultations, not listing presentations, not listing appointments, okay? When you say a presentation, I'm expecting glitter and a PowerPoint, okay? A listing consultation, we come from a consultative approach. We're there to shut our mouths and listen. So, side note, is that I needed that right person in place to help me offset what I'm bad at. I am great at leading. I'm great at motivating. I'm great at setting appointments. I'm great at closing people on a listing consultation. I'm great at marketing and negotiating. Everything else I suck at, and I will admit that. So the thing is that I need to hire for the things that I suck at, and that's where so many people fail. So I brought Priscilla on as the operations manager. She was on for 60 days while she was up and running. She's just killer. I love you, Priscilla. She's my work. She's awesome. Now she can come ask me for a raise. But yeah, she runs the back end. She runs the administrative end. And then we have been looking for a buyer specialist for almost 2 months now. We went through 20 some odd people, and we're waiting for the right person that really met the values and the standards of our team that I feel is going to be a fit of someone. Because right now for the team, I think everybody can agree to this. We're not looking for people that are going to be here and gone. We're looking for people that are willing to grow and willing to expand, because we know where we're going. Within 5 years, we're going to be a $100 million producing team. So we know where we're going. It's finding the right people and the right fits. And it's amazing when you open yourself up to that stuff, the people and the things that happen. So
that's awesome. And in my opinion, the most valuable tip you just gave there is that you went through 20 people before you hired one person. And
Yep.
it is, as a former team leader, it's something I saw people make the mistake constantly. They just had an immediate need, they found an immediate fill, and it was never right. And it cost you so much money and so much time.
I had a team of 7 people back, 2 years ago, that people left. I let other people go because I wasn't ready to leave. And right now I still today I pulled aside Priscilla. I'm like, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed with everything. Like, I was really overwhelmed, but I have the ability to realize that now, where I can step back for myself, look at it, slow down. I have the proper people here to help me do that. And, it's not running a team. It's leading a team and leading people and helping people in the way they need to be helped. So
good for you. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
What are your goals this year, 2017?
6 listings a month.
Now, 6 listings a month. I interview a lot of people over the course of time, and nobody has ever given me a monthly goal when talking about 2017. I love that. Why do you chunk that out like that?
Because I know that if I had 6 listings a month, 6 listings times $500,000 equals it's 72 times 500, which is my average, is like $32 million in volume. I figure out of that 72, 10% is going to fall off, which should run me right between 25 to 30 million in volume. And that's without adding buyers in. So the goal is roughly 25 million. So I just work it backwards. And the way I look at it is, as long as I can take 6 listings a month at 500,000, I am boom right there.
I love that, because that just brings it down to something you can control a little bit more. It's not quite just activities, but at least get you closer to activities.
It's not so scary.
Right. So do you break it down one more level? So 6 listings every month. That means you need to be on the phone X number of hours, or that means you need to talk to X number of people? What's your next goal?
The next goal, no, I really don't do that. I'm not a numbers person. I look at one particular number, which the reality of it is I probably need to go on 2 appointments a week to hit that goal based on my closing ratio. So if I go on 8 appointments, a month, which is not difficult. I mean, with no expireds, you know what I mean? And changing things up, it can be a challenge. Like right now, I'm 3 behind my goal for the year right now. I somehow have to figure out how I'm going to take 10 listings this month. So we took 2 in January, 6 in February, and 8 in March. So I'm actually 4 behind my goal right now.
But you'll hit it.
Yeah, I've got 1 down, 9 to go for this month. So I've got 1 that I'm working on. I got 3 appointments this week. So
awesome. That's great. Okay. Tell me, on your grind, both expireds and FSBOs, calling every day, how is it that you don't get frustrated or hurt or whatever it is we all put in our head when people reject you flat out?
Yeah.
Like you just rejected me right there. Oh, there you go. Nice.
That's it. That's
awesome.
That's it.
So that's just part of your big why?
Yeah, those are my big why. And the thing is that's what gets you out of bed in the morning. That's what makes you do everything you want to do. It's a struggle some days for me to get out of bed, because believe me, I would prefer to be sleeping in every day. Yet I'm up at 5 o'clock every morning. And that's the reason I'm doing it. And I feel now it's so ingrained in me to do my lead generation that if I don't do it, I feel really like dirty. Like it's one of those things where I feel like I didn't shower. Because the thing is with everybody here is you guys have the ability to control, in my opinion, everything up until 11 o'clock. I run my day, I'm up at 5, between 5 and 5:15. I'm getting ready to go upstairs. Okay. I make my coffee. I pop in front of the computer. I do my meditation now, which is so weird for me to say. Then I write down the 3 things that I'm going to be intentional for the day. My coaches push that on me as well. So it's 30 things to be intentional for. If I don't send him those by 7 o'clock, he has my PayPal account and he charges me $100. Then between the hours of 5:30 and 6:30, I'm getting work done. the most beneficial time where you can get those little things that you don't want to get done is between 5:30 and 6:30, because your mind, the day hasn't beat your ass yet.
Mm-hmm.
Between 6:30 and 7, I exercise in my garage. I have a max trainer and a punching bag. 7 and 7:30, it's a combination of walk the dog, shower, kiss the kids. Perfect world, I'm out of the house between 7:30 and 7:45. I'm on the phone at 8. I'm on the phone from 8 to 11. That's the part of my day that I can control. Everything else can go crazy, but I'm able to control my day up until 11 o'clock.
I love that. And Evan is asking, how do you fight the pain of getting up at 5 a.m.? I guess you're going to hold up a picture of your kids again.
There's no pain when you realize the end of the day is that this is why you're doing it. And it starts just to become natural. Like, I mean, there was a point, I mean, I kind of got thrown off because if I sat here and told you guys the amount of stuff that I had going on in my life right now, I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to say things, but it is not easy. Life is not easy whatsoever. All right. Is that you get thrown off. I got thrown off. I got back into it, and it's just doing it and getting in the habit, because what happens, it's okay to take a break. But when breaks become habits, that's when it becomes an issue. And the hardest thing is I was dead sick for a week. My entire family was sick. I had a family member pass away and another family member get severely injured. It was a rough 10 days. And I got myself back on track. It took time, but I'm back on track now. And it's just other stuff's going to happen. And you just got to be like, I don't know, like a bouncy ball or something, and just bounce back.
So did you stop lead genning for those 10 days?
I was sick as a dog. I couldn't do it. I mean, I couldn't talk. I mean, I'm sitting there. It was rough. It was really rough. And the thing is, last month, we were killing it. We put like 12 listings on the market. But, there's some days, like for a week, I couldn't do it. I do have companies that do it for me. I got one company in Buffalo, one in Nicaragua, but they're not me.
Yeah, sure.
They're not me. So, I mean, it's a different animal, which is why I get Mike up and running the way he should be. He can cover my, when I'm out. So
there you go. Evan wants to know what time you go to bed and how many hours do you sleep?
I go to bed at like 10. So I sleep for like 7 hours roughly, which is completely reasonable. It's completely reasonable. The issue I have is I have small children. I got, a 5-year-old who comes into my bed every night, and I wake up with his feet in my face. And I have, 2-year-old twins that one of them is waking up at some point, so you get woken up. So I don't think I've had solid sleep in 2 to 3 years. So sleep is overrated.
That's right. All right. Before I go on to my next question, if you guys, our participants here, want to go to the chat bar and throw out a couple objections that you're struggling with, I'll have Aaron. We'll role play those real quick before we get off the phone. We might not have time for all of them, but throw out a few objections that are really stumping you. Now, Aaron, my question is in the lead gen scripts and objections. I mean, you really have your pulse on, I think, a lot of agents' struggles and questions. And what are you seeing as the biggest struggle right now, or what's the topic that is the theme right now?
I think the constant theme is consistency.
Okay.
I think that's the biggest constant theme is consistency, because people want a magic bullet. They want to pick up the phone and they want to make money right away. And it doesn't work that way. And it's like, what do they say? Oh gosh, what's the word I'm looking for here? I don't know. Success is consistency. It's doing the same thing time over time over time is where consistency comes from. And it's that when I first started doing this, I started 4 years ago. I mean, 4 years, it was December. I moved here January 25th of 2013. And I started calling expireds November 1st of 2013. I called November, December, and January. I didn't take a listing. I did not take a listing. Somebody told 3 months, nothing. I would sit on the phone keep on New Market. I have got mouths to feed. I'm living with my in-laws. For 3 months, I don't know, someone told me expireds were good. I never called them before in my life. And I just had a gut feeling. I would sit on the phone some days for 12 hours a day. There was a snow day. I sat there for 14 hours on the phone. Didn't take a listing for 3 months. February, I took 8.
Wow.
And I hadn't even, that was like, I've been here for a year. And so what people don't realize is that it's just doing it over and over and over again. And the leads don't come now. It's like out of you get 100 people you talk to that want to sell. 85 to 90% of them will not list with you today. 10%, the slam dunks, you will get appointments for. You'll get appointments for 1 out of 10. You'll get a solid boom slam dunk appointment. I pulled one off the other day. The rest of them is follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. If I look at the listings I took last month, the expireds, I think we took 4 expireds. 3 of the 4 we spoke with. I mean, I've been in touch with people for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And people want the stuff now. Your income comes from the work you did 3 months ago.
Yep.
And so people's business, they wonder why their business is like this. It's because what happens is like, yes, I got 2 listings and I just closed 2 buyers and I don't have to work for the next week because it's good.
Right.
And that's where people fail. You get fat and happy.
Right.
And it's being like, because it's so, business is okay. You want it to be like this.
Right.
And that's where people get away from the consistency, is because they don't do everything they got to do on a regular basis. There's week life gets in the way. You go on vacation. There's stuff that happens. Maybe like I get sick. I can't control that. I'm not lead generating for a week, but that'll never happen again. The next week I make up for it. The next week I did it for like 6 days.
Mm-hmm. Got it. You're back on it. Okay, cool. Well, what is I'll translate this question. It says, how are you better than all the realtors? What's your unique selling proposition? How do you stand out in the market?
For expireds?
I guess for any client.
All right, I mean, for expireds, what I say is what my team does. We specialize in properties around the market for extended periods of time without selling. I've taken listings around the market as long as 1,039 days. I've flipped around in 29. What I'll tell other people is that, for me, I have a benefit because here's the thing. What I'll tell people is I actually teach agents all over the country on how to sell real estate, expireds for sale by owners, internet marketing, items like that. So when you're coming to meet me, you're getting the teacher, not the student.
Got it. That's good. Tell me what a newer agent could use in place of that, because they don't have that experience.
No, they don't have the experience. I mean, it really depends on what you are. The one thing that I've always had the biggest struggle with is, whatever your USP is, your unique selling proposition is, I got to tell you, when you're going to ask me a question, that's one thing that's a struggle for me, because it took me so long to figure out what it was. It's figuring out what you're good at and being able to, you go with your market stats. Market stats are just propaganda. It's however you want to make it. My office, we sell listings in an average of 17 days when the average multiple listing days is 29. My office, we sell listings at 101.3% of list price. The average MLS sells at 98%. So it's using whatever you can to your advantage. If you sold one listing and it sold for 105%, guess what? Your average sale price is 105%.
Right.
So I found that, when you're going to do that, you lend it more towards, whatever your list to sale prices, your days on market, those tend to be the good things to go to.
Got it. Before we started the call, you were talking about working on patience.
Yes.
What are you working on in your business right now? That's a little bit more a life lesson, but what are you, besides your FSBO script, what are you trying to master?
Organization.
Okay.
Systems.
Okay.
Organization and systems, because that's the one thing that, as most of us know as agents, we are no good at. Okay. So that's why I'm hiring people to assist me with that, because they're much better than I am.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, for me, it's actually having the active role, because I'm just saying to do it, but she doesn't know what it is. So she drops something on my desk. I don't look at it. So it's doing that. I've never been busier than I have been in my entire life. Yet the thing is that I don't work evenings. I'm not going to come home. I want to spend time with my kids. I don't work Sundays. So it's figuring out how to get everything pushed in, because I'm doing so much more stuff, which means you need to get to delegate. But where most of us fail is organization and system development.
Yeah, that's true. What's your follow-up process with FSBOs right now? Every week, how do you know you need to call them every week? I
have a system. I use Seize the Market. I know you guys probably have this Espresso agent. You have the calendar function in there. So, it's when you're using Espresso, what you do is you just set up a task to call them. And then you have to manually dial. Like I said, I use Seize the Market. It's a much more expensive product. It's a great product. It does everything automated for me. But when I started, I couldn't afford it. So I found that, if you're going to use the Espresso agent calendar, it's a lot better than Google, because it's right there and you can just set the task, right, Monica?
Yeah. Yes.
So you just set the task, you do that, and that's what you utilize. You utilize the tools that you have. You're already paying for it. You may as well use it.
That's perfect. Tell me a funny or a strange thing that's happened to you on one of your calls, like one of the weirdest.
I've had someone threaten to murder me and my entire family.
For real?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I had one lady. She was totally nice. She was like, I'm talking to a super sweet woman. She's totally nice. Then she went schizo on me, and she's like, you know, I'm gonna kill you. I'm like, oh my god. So it was kind of funny, but I mean, people are weird, and you know, but you're gonna get that stuff, and it's just, you know, you just roll with it. You make it as entertaining as possible. You know, go for no is that, you know, if it takes you 20 people to talk to somebody, you know, you take your commission. Let's say your commission is $10,000. You divide it by 20. Every person that tells me to F off, no, leave me alone, I'm going to eat your children. That's worth $500. So cool. Thank you. You just told me to eat my family. Thank you very much. You just made me $500. You know, you're telling me to die. Oh, great. Thank you. And, you know, it's just kind of rolling with it, having fun with it, you know, and realizing that if you keep doing it over and over again, you are going to see the results.
That's awesome. Does anybody have any questions? I didn't get any objections.
Nobody has objections.
Everybody always wants to know how to handle objections.
I scared them all.
Yeah, you did. Tell me about some success stories out of your mastery classes. Are people enjoying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've had, 120 some odd people through it. From what I understand, from what they've told me, at least 40% of them have taken a listing within the first 30 days from expires. So I figured, you know, that's a good rate because, you know, people sign up, they don't do things. But my biggest rate is I gave everybody the ability to get their money back. Every single person, I said, if you think it sucks, you can have your money back. Not one person asked for their money back. Everybody loved the massive value that I was bringing because, you know, I tell you, I'm growing just like you guys. I'm no better than any of you guys. I'm in process. I'm still in production. So everything you're learning is exactly what I'm doing. All right. I'm seeing some objections come through here.
Yeah, let's see. I want to wait before I list again.
Okay. Gotcha. So you're not looking to sell now or you're not looking to sell ever?
I'm not looking to sell now.
Sure. So what kind of time frame are you thinking?
I don't know. We just need to regroup. Maybe next spring.
Next spring. Okay. Gotcha. Let me do this. Let me give you a shout back. You know, maybe in a couple months, you know, just to see how everything's going. I'll shoot you my card in the mail. Does that sound fair?
Sure.
Okay. So then what I'll do, I'll call them back in a couple months because they just may be frustrated. If you get the frustration question, try them back in a month because they may not be as frustrated in a month. But the standard thing that I get is, do you not want to sell now or do you not want to sell ever? That diffuses it completely because they're like, I'm going to be here for 20 years. I'm going to die here. Then it's like, okay, you know, I'll move on to the next. But usually they want to do something. They're just so frustrated with everything going on.
That's a great phrase to just get in your brain.
Yeah.
You don't want to sell now or you don't want to sell ever. Okay. How to overcome a response. We decided to wait and sell in a couple months. Same thing. But if they say, okay, so if the answer to your question was, we're just going to take it off for a couple weeks through the holiday.
Sure. So
go back on in January, February, probably.
Sure. So you want to put the property back on the market within a month?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Well, you are aware that, you know, when you put you've been through this before, so you're aware that once you actually commit to listing with someone, it takes, you know, 2 weeks to put the property in the market. Is that correct?
Sure.
Okay, so I mean, the thing is that even if we sat down and had a conversation now, when we agree to work together, and also use the word we, when, you know, embedded command, you know, when we agree to work together, then at that point, we at least have all our ducks in a row so we can have everything set and ready to go. I'd love to stop by and have a conversation. What works better for you, late morning, early afternoon, or Saturday?
Got it. Okay. I like it.
The reason I say late morning, early afternoon, or Saturday, you give people 3 options. They're going to pick one, and that's when I work, is late morning, early afternoon, and Saturday. That's how I get away from the evenings and the weekends.
That is
evening and Sunday. Evening and Sunday.
That is perfect. I love it. Let's see. Is that it? All right. Cool. Well, we're running up on our time anyway. Is there anything that you'd like to share with the group that we didn't discuss? And we touched on a lot of subjects, but it was good stuff.
You know what? Do I have the ability? Can I? I can't whiteboard here, can I?
You can screen share or whiteboard. Oh wait.
Yeah, I can whiteboard.
One more. We're going to use the same agent.
Okay, so this is where this is actually fun. I say, so let me, because this right here is what blows my flipping mind. And people are like, we're going to list the same agent. So I'm just like, this agent had their house on the market for 1,000 days. We'll list the same agent. So what I try to do is make it feel stupid. So Monica, let me get this straight. You're planning on relisting with the same agent that had your house on the market for 253 days. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So just to confirm, you're planning on relisting with the same agent who had your house on the market for 253 days.
Yes, it's not her problem. It's not her fault. The market was, crappy.
Okay, gotcha. So you don't think it's the agent's fault that the house on the market for 253 days and didn't sell?
No.
Okay, I hate using this analogy. I'll tell you, I hate using this analogy, but I'm just doing this because I'm actually going to the dentist today, all right? Is that, let's say I go to my dentist. Now, I'm getting a root canal done, all right? Let's say he doesn't quite do the root canal properly, and suddenly I walk out with serious pain in my mouth because he only did half the job. Do you think I'm going to go back to that same dentist again?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, you'd be crazy if you did, right? Because I'm walking out in pain. The reality of it is they had an opportunity to get their job done, okay? They didn't get their job done, all right? And at the end of the day, we're not looking to do this person a favor. We're looking to get the home sold, correct?
Correct.
So the thing is, if we sat down and have a conversation, keep in mind, I'm not looking for a commitment. I'm just looking for an appointment. Great line right there. I'm not looking for a commitment. I'm just looking for an appointment. And, it's worth time to sit down with me, the other agent, and probably another agent and see if there's an opportunity to help. I'd love to stop by. What works better, late morning, early afternoon, or Saturday?
So you use that analogy
I do. It's totally corny.
But
when I started saying, like, I'm going to get a root canal today, it kind of brings some reality to it. So
yeah, that's awesome. That's good.
I was actually able to use that yesterday. So
That's perfect. All right, show us your whiteboard.
Okay, I'm going to whiteboard. I love Zoom. Okay, so, all right, here's the thing. All right, let me make sure we got this. We have right here, okay, which is what I call, let me see, get this text. Okay, so right here we have mindset and time management, okay, which is the completely unsexy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then what we have, draw. Hold on. Just where do I do the pen? Hold on. I can do this.
Yes, you
then
can.
Right here we have lead gen, scripts, and objections. Okay. Mm-hmm. Then over here, what we have is what I consider like the 5 pillars of really, really successful, appointment setting. We have lead gen, scripts, and objections. We have then the appointment, or we have pre-qualification. Pre-qual. Okay, we're just going to use that. Then right here, we have the appointment. Then we have closing.
Mm-hmm.
And notice it just made a house, okay? So, you can put little windows right there. We can put a little door right there. And everybody wants this stuff. Everybody wants this stuff. Everybody wants this stuff. Everybody wants this stuff. But at the end of the day, if you don't have mindset and time management, the bottom of it all collapses.
Right.
So everybody wants to do all this stuff, yet the most important thing is what people don't want to focus on is your mindset and time management. And that's where people fail the most, is that we only have so much time in a day. There's only so much time we have in a day, so you have to make sure that you manage it properly. Part of what I teach in Mindset or Expired Mastery 101 is time management. It's so important. It's not sexy by any means, but it's important. And it's also up here, because if this isn't working down up here, you're failing everywhere.
Mm-hmm. And
it's so important, and that's where people fail so much. And, it's just having the proper mindset, which lends to time management, which builds the rest of the house. And I think that's just super important.
Are you a reader? Do you have any books around time management that you like? Or
you know what? No, I got to tell you that I'm not a big reader. I'm getting into it by audiobooks. But I don't. It's one of those things that, I teach time management. I teach how to do it very well. It's very simple. I can break down anybody's schedule into 5 different areas. Okay. I control 90% of my schedule. 90% of my schedule is controlled. I know where I'm going to be, when I'm going to be there most of the time, 90% of the time.
That's great. Hey, somebody gave me a tip on Audible.
Yeah.
For somebody like you and I that don't have the patience to read, but I want to read. I know how important it is.
I know.
So she buys the Audible and she buys the hard copy. I'm like, okay. She's like, but it's worth that money is worth my time, because you can put Audible on 2 times fast.
I heard that.
Follow through and read with the thing and get through the book in 2 times, and it's worth twice the money.
I heard about that.
Isn't that awesome? I
got to try to do that. So it's a little faster, but I listened to Gary Vaynerchuk's books, and that was really good. So I got a lot of good stuff, because I like the audiobooks, especially when you have the actual author who's speaking it. I love that personally.
Yes, with the tone and inflection.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's see. I think We decided to wait. Yep, that's it. Okay, awesome. Aaron, first of all, thank you for your time. I know how valuable it is. We all
It's my
appreciate it.
pleasure.
To our participants today, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the next webinar.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for having me. Monica, thank you.
Bye, Aaron. See ya.
All right, bye.